I don't think I realized how deep my parents' contempt ran until the night my dad wrapped his hand around my ankle and dragged me off my own bed like I was a bag of trash he needed to clear out of his way. Before that moment, there were signs, small cruelties, sharp words, humiliations they disguised as jokes. But something about that night shift aftermath carved a permanent scar I still feel every time I try to rest. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. For most of my 20s, I worked overnight shifts at a warehouse distribution center. Not glamorous, not easy, but honest work that paid enough to keep gas in my car and a few savings tucked away. Most nights, I slept in the break room during my 30-minute lunch because I knew I had no real rest waiting for me at home. My parents, Linda and Frank, treated me like I was an inconvenience that kept wandering back into their line of sight. They cherished my sister, Jade, who was 24, unemployed, obsessed with posting filtered photos of herself holding iced coffee and pretending she lived a life of luxury. She had a dog, a tiny white Pomeranian named Muffin, that she called her soulmate. My parents treated that dog like royalty. Me? They treated me like something stuck on the bottom of their shoe. My schedule was brutal. Clock out at 6:30 a.m., drive home half asleep, collapse into bed before the sun rose. I tried renting a place of my own, but the rent in our town shot up so fast I couldn't keep up. My parents told me I could stay if I contribute. That meant cleaning the entire house, cooking most dinners, fixing random things Jade broke, and taking care of Muffin whenever she went on her self-care spa days, which were really just afternoons scrolling through Instagram in her car. Still, I kept my head down. I just needed a place to sleep between shifts. That was all. But Jade hated how her dog slept in her room. Muffin is sensitive, she always said. She needs a peaceful sleep environment. For some reason, that never meant Jade needed to be quiet. It meant I needed to move out of the way. One morning, after a shift so exhausting my hands were still shaking from lifting heavy boxes, I walked into the house and dropped my bag on the floor. My bones felt hollow, my eyes burned, my head throbbed from dehydration and vending machine coffee. I whispered to myself, "Just sleep. Just 6 hours, please, just 6 hours." The house was quiet. Too quiet. No Jade shouting into her phone, no Muffin barking at the air. I took it as a blessing and went straight to my room. I didn't even change my clothes. I fell into bed face first, shoes still on, hair still tied back from work. I don't remember falling asleep. I only remember the ripping. A sharp yank on my ankle tore me out of the little bit of sleep I'd managed to find. I gasped, my cheek scraping the bedsheet as my body slid toward the edge. My eyes flew open, and there he was, my father, towering over me with a look of pure irritation. "What? Dad, stop!" I shouted, clawing at the mattress. He didn't stop. He dragged me clear off the bed and let my back hit the cold floor. "Get up!" he snapped. "Now!" My head spun. "I just got home. I worked all night. Why are you—" He pointed at the doorway like a police officer ordering someone out of a vehicle. "Your sister needs the room, and Muffin can't nap with all your scent in the air." I stared at him, stunned. "What? Why would Muffin need my bed?" Jade appeared behind him, holding the little dog like a porcelain doll. She rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh my God, Emma, don't be so selfish. Muffin didn't sleep well. Your room faces the sunrise and the light is gentler. Just let her have the bed." "That's my bed," I whispered, still on the floor. "I haven't slept yet." Dad's face twisted. "Animals first, then you. You've always known that." I blinked hard, trying to understand if he was joking. He wasn't. His voice was stone. Jade stepped forward, her voice syrupy and mean. "Come on, Em. Muffin is sensitive. You're tough." She wasn't complimenting me. She was mocking me. The dog barked once, and Jade gasped like a baby had cried. "See? You're stressing her out." Dad yanked the blanket off my mattress and shook it out dramatically, letting dust and crumbs, my crumbs from the snacks I ate after shifts, fall to the floor. "Get your things and find somewhere else to nap. The living room couch is fine." "No, it's not." I said quietly. Mom will start vacuuming in an hour. You know she will. He shrugged. Then stay awake. What does it matter? My voice cracked. I worked 12 hours. I need sleep. Jade smirked. Then don't work night shift. Easy. I can't just quit? Not my problem, she said, cutting me off. Move. When I didn't move fast enough, Dad grabbed my wrist and pulled me up roughly. I nearly stumbled into the wall. He didn't care. I said, move, he growled. Don't make this dramatic. Dramatic, because being dragged out of bed wasn't dramatic enough. I stumbled into the hallway, dizzy, my breath shaking. When I looked back into my room, Dad already placed Muffin on my pillows. Jade giggled as the dog stretched out like a tiny queen. My bed, my one place of rest, was no longer mine. Dad slammed the door in my face. I stood in the hallway, my legs trembling, the exhaustion in my body so heavy it felt violent. My vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall. I pressed my hand to the wall just to stay standing. Mom's voice drifted from the kitchen. Emma, while you're up, take out the trash. It smells. I don't remember walking to the living room. I only remember sinking onto the couch and curling into a ball, trying to sleep while my father's words echoed in my skull. Animals. First, then you. I slept maybe 30 minutes before Mom turned on the vacuum right next to my head, humming loudly, not even pretending to avoid me. Every hour that passed carved the message deeper. I didn't matter. My exhaustion didn't matter. My work didn't matter. I didn't deserve a bed or rest or dignity. But the worst part wasn't losing sleep. It was realizing that Jade spent the whole day posting photos of Muffin napping peacefully on a beautifully made bed, my bed, while commenting, "Self-care day for my baby." Dozens of likes, dozens of compliments. Meanwhile, I sat on the floor of the laundry room trying not to collapse. That night, something shifted in me. Something final and cold and steady. They treated me like I was beneath an animal. They dragged me like a rag. They stole my rest, my space, my dignity. But they forgot something. When you push someone past the point of exhaustion, past humiliation, past invisibility, eventually they stop begging, and they start planning. I may have been too tired to fight that morning, but I wouldn't be tired forever. And I promised myself, the next time I lay in a bed, it would be mine, and the next time someone got dragged out of comfort, it wouldn't be me. The next morning, my body felt like it was made of gravel. Every joint ached, every muscle twitched from exhaustion, but I still dragged myself to my shift because the warehouse was the only place where people didn't treat me like a joke. At least there, my effort meant something. At least there, no one stole my bed for a dog. When I came back home, Jade was sitting on the couch painting Muffin's nails pink while Mom recorded her for some cute pet content video. The moment they saw me, their smiles dropped like I had ruined the mood. "Oh," Jade said flatly, "the night creature returns." Mom didn't look up from her phone. "Don't track dirt inside. Muffin gets allergies." I stood there, too drained to argue, too angry to speak. I just wanted to check if my room was empty, if maybe, just maybe, they had let me have it back. But when I opened the door, Muffin was asleep on my pillow again, wearing a tiny sweater with his name stitched across it. My blanket was folded neatly under him like a plush throne. Jade appeared behind me and leaned on the door frame. "He slept so well last night. Honestly, Emma, I don't know why you're mad. Muffin needs stability." "That's my bed," I whispered. "And this," she pointed at the dog, "is my emotional support animal. You know how fragile he is. Don't be selfish." I felt something inside me snap, the same crack from days before, only sharper. "Where am I supposed to sleep?" Dad answered from down the hall. "Figure it out. You're an adult." "Then treat me like one," I said. He turned, stepping closer. "Watch your tone. You live in my house. You follow my rules. Animals come first. They're loyal. You're not." The words punched me harder than he realized. I didn't reply. I didn't trust myself to. That night, I slept in my car. Because Jade had friends over, Mom was blasting the TV, and Muffin cried if anyone walked near the bedroom. I wrapped my hoodie around my head, curled into the passenger seat, and felt humiliation harden into clarity. I needed out. Not eventually. Now. But leaving with nothing wouldn't hurt them, and I wanted them to feel something. Not pain, not violence, real consequences. The next morning at work, my supervisor pulled me aside. They were opening a new distribution branch 2 towns over, bigger, cleaner, with better pay. They needed experienced workers, housing assistants included. "And Emma," he said, "you're the most reliable person on night shift. If you want the spot, it's yours." For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. A job, a place to stay, a path out. But then the deeper realization hit me. If I moved, they would lose everything I quietly kept together. The cleaning, the errands, the chores, the rides, the responsibilities they dumped on me. My absence wouldn't just inconvenience them. It would destabilize their entire routine, and they wouldn't see it coming. That's when the idea formed. Not poetic, not symbolic, not soft. Just real-life consequences, sharp and simple. When I left, I would leave them with exactly what they treated me like. Nothing. I didn't announce my decision. I didn't hint at it. I didn't threaten to leave the way I used to during arguments, hoping someone, anyone, would say, "Please stay." This time, I moved in silence. My transfer paperwork was signed within hours. My supervisor arranged temporary housing near the new site. All I had to do was show up, and for the first time in years, the future didn't feel like something my parents controlled, but revenge still needed shape, real, grounded consequences. Not poetic, not symbolic, not quiet. They took my rest, my dignity, my place in their house. I would take the one thing they relied on more than they ever admitted, me. I waited until Saturday, the day my parents hosted their weekly family brunch, where they bragged to neighbors about being loving, supportive parents. Fake smiles, fake compliments, fake warmth. It made my skin crawl. That morning, I came home from my shift early and stood in the doorway while Mom chopped fruit, and Dad set the table like we were some perfect sitcom family. "You look terrible," Mom said casually. "Make yourself useful and mop the floors before guests arrive." Dad didn't even look up. "And clean Jade's room. She's been overwhelmed lately." "Overwhelmed from painting her dog's nails?" I nodded once. "Sure." But instead of cleaning, I went to my room, my old room, and saw Muffin sprawled across my pillows again, twitching in his sleep like he owned the world. I didn't touch him. I didn't touch the bed. I opened my closet and packed every single thing I owned. Clothes, shoes, personal documents. The emergency cash Jade used to borrow from me. I even unscrewed the small mirror I brought from my first apartment attempt. Next, I went into the laundry room and removed my detergent, my cleaning supplies, the ones they claimed were household items, but were always bought with my paychecks. Then I walked into the kitchen, where Dad was arranging pastries. "I'm leaving," I said simply. Mom scoffed. "For work? Don't be dramatic." "No," I said. "I'm moving out today." Dad finally looked at me, really looked at me, and I saw the flicker of panic he tried to hide. "And where do you think you're going? You can't afford rent." "I got transferred," I replied, calm, steady. "Housing is included." Mom froze. "Housing? As in, you have a place?" "Yes." Jade wandered in, holding Muffin like a prop. "You're leaving? Who's going to take care of the house?" "No one," I said. "Not me." Her face fell. "But I need rides, and groceries, and you fold my laundry." "Not anymore." Dad stepped closer, voice rising. "You think you can walk out and leave us drowning in chores? You think you can just abandon your family?" "You dragged me out of my bed," I said quietly. "You gave my room to a dog. You made it clear where I stand." Silence cracked across the kitchen like a whip. Then Mom's voice came out small, trembling. "Emma, we didn't mean—" "You meant every word." I walked past them toward the door, suitcase rolling behind me. But when I reached the threshold, I turned back, not with rage, not with tears, but with clarity sharper than any blade. For years, you relied on me to keep this house running, the cleaning, the shopping, the favors, the late-night drives, everything Jade refused to do. You treated me like your worker, not your daughter. I paused, letting that truth sit in their bones. So now you can live exactly as you've treated me. Mom's lip quivered. Emma, please, just stay for today. The guests will see the real house, I said, not the one I cleaned. Dad swallowed hard. You're making us look bad. No, I said. You did that. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. The sound of panic was immediate, scrambling for brooms, shouting for Jade to help, Muffin barking uncontrollably, my mother cursing under her breath, my father slamming drawers as he searched for things I used to handle. It was chaos within seconds, because I had been the glue all along, and now the house was crumbling. My ride arrived, a coworker from the warehouse waving through the window. I put my suitcase in the trunk and climbed inside, breathing air that didn't taste like humiliation. As we drove away, I looked back once. My father was outside, hair disheveled, pointing at me like he could command me back. But I wasn't his, anymore. He yelled something I couldn't hear over the engine, but I read his lips. You'll regret this. I leaned back in the seat, finally closing my eyes. For the first time in years, I drifted toward sleep, not on a couch, not on a floor, not in a car, but on my own terms, and I whispered the truth he could never take from me. No, this time, you will. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.